Hey guys, thanks for stopping by Ballistic BBQ. On this video, I'm going to show you how to smoke some pork spare ribs in your kitchen. We're going to do it in my kitchen. Let's get going. All right, ever since I started my channel, I've received messages asking me to do videos showing people how they can prepare some of these barbecue recipes in their house, in their apartment. Many reasons. People have to button up their pits during the winter, fall times. Also, some people just don't own the equipment, or they can't own the equipment because they live in an apartment or a dorm or what have you. So what we're going to do is show you how to make a little smoker that you can use on your stovetop. And you're going to make some pretty darn good barbecue indoors. It's pretty cool. First thing we're going to do is make the smoker. All right, what I have here is a stainless steel tray. It's roughly 19 inches long, about 11 inches deep, and you probably recognize this from your favorite buffet, hotel, what have you. They're made for those steam tables, the steam trays. I bought this at Smart & Final, paid about $13 for the tray itself, about $9 for the lid, and you can buy these online. But what also works very, very good for this application we're going to do is a regular roasting pan, as long as you have a lid for it. Now, bear in mind, this is what's going to happen to it, so I wouldn't use a piece of cookware that you really care about. I've seen roasting pans at swap meets, flea markets for just a few bucks, so it's something to consider. All right, so first thing we're going to do is lay down some aluminum foil in the bottom. What I have here is a bag of smoking pellets. Now, these are sold for your pellet smokers, the Traegers, what have you. You can buy sawdust that is designed for one of these stovetop smokers, but when you look at them online, you're going to see you're going to pay about 13 bucks a pound for those little containers of sawdust. You can buy these pellets for literally $1 a pound. Think about it. Now, these are hickory, and what I'm going to do is lay down a line of these hickory pellets in the bottom of this tray, just right down the center. All right, next thing we're going to do is another sheet of aluminum foil on top of those pellets. Just press it down nice and tight so they don't move around too much. Now I have here a aluminum broiler tray, very shallow. I'm going to place that right on top of the foil. I have some apple cider mixed with some apple cider vinegar. It's a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 parts apple cider, 1 part apple cider vinegar. Just going to pour some of this in here, and I want a nice humid environment in here, and this will actually provide a little bit of flavor. I don't want to top it off. I'm going to carry this across my kitchen. I don't want it sloshing all over the place, getting those chips wet. Next thing will be a grate. You can use like a cookie cooling rack. I don't even know where I got this. It's designed for something, but it works perfectly for this application. I'm just going to set this right on top of that broiler tray. All right, the next thing we're going to do is get those ribs on. Now, bear in mind, this is not so much a recipe on how to make ribs. It's more of a tutorial on how to smoke ribs in your kitchen. So what I have here is just a beautiful, beautiful rack of spare ribs that have been trimmed St. Louis style. Lay that right on the rack over the apple cider. We're going to put the lid on. Let me wash my hands. All right, next step. This is an important step, so you do not want to forget this. We're going to take some aluminum foil and we're going to put it around the edge of this pan, sealing off that gap where the lid is. All right, let's go ahead and get this on the stovetop. And walk very carefully so don't slosh that apple cider. I'm going to place this on one side of my stove here, and it's actually on top of 2 burners, the front and the back. I'm going to get this question, so I'm going to answer it right now. This will not smoke your house up, but it will definitely perfume the air. You'll smell that nice kind of a hickory sweet smell. It almost smells like a barbecue sauce. Okay, what I'm going to do is turn on the front burner now. I'm going to leave it on high for about 5 minutes. And it won't take long before you start hearing a little bit of a crackling sound, and that's those pellets starting to ignite. They're not going to burst into flames, but they're going to start smoking inside of here. After 5 minutes, we're going to turn this down to like a medium heat. All right, 5 minutes have passed, and I don't know if you can see this, but I have some just slight traces of smoke coming out from underneath the foil. Totally normal. At this point, I would suggest, however, turning on that vent fan. It'll just help out with that, again, that hickory smell you're going to get. At this point, what I'm going to do is turn down the temperature to a medium-low flame. Now I'm going to let this burn. Again, it's just on the front burner right now for 30 more minutes. After that 30 minutes have passed, I'm going to turn off that front burner, turn on the rear burner. We're going to start it all over again. We're going to run the rear burner high for 5 minutes, and then medium-low for 30 minutes. At this point, the internal temperature of this pan's probably running around 200 degrees or so. So see you in 30 minutes. All right, that 30 minutes have passed. I'm going to go ahead and turn off that rear burner. It smells so good in here right now. What I'm going to do now is put the stovetop smoker into my oven. I have the oven preheated to 250 degrees. Make sure you're using pot holders or oven mitts, whatever. And I'm going to place this on the center rack of my oven. All right, so we're going to keep this rocking low and slow. As you know, the oven is preheated at 250 degrees. We're going to leave this little stovetop smoker in the oven for about 3 hours. Then I'm going to check for doneness. It may be done after 3 hours. Remember, it had been cooking, at probably about 200 degrees on the stovetop for an hour. If it's not tender enough, we're just going to check it periodically, but I'm guessing it'll be done completely within 3 to 4 more hours. See you in a bit. All right, guys, so it's been 3 hours. I just tested these ribs, and they're ready to be pulled. The probe is going in and out. You can't even feel it going in or out. So let's go ahead and get these guys pulled. Smells wonderful. Let me give you a peek of these ribs, guys. I'll show you. Basically, I just took my thermometer probe here, and you can see just goes right in without any resistance at all. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to just paint these ribs with some barbecue sauce and then just let them rest. We'll be cutting these shortly, and I'll let you check them out. All right, guys, so I hit these with a nice bourbon barbecue sauce. They've rested. Now let's give them a try. A little tender for like the barbecue circuit, but for the home cook, I think they'll be fine. But these are definitely falling off the bone. Probably would have went, I don't know, checked them in maybe an hour sooner. That being said, I mean, they're going to be killer. I can already tell just by looking at them, smelling them. These are definitely falling off the bone for those of you that like falling off the bone. But they're still extremely moist. The flavor is just amazing. Yeah, it's almost like pulled pork. So lesson learned for this. Again, I would have checked them after 2 hours instead of 3. That being said, they're a success. I mean, they definitely have a nice smoky flavor. Tastes like barbecue. Anyway, guys, try it yourself. Let me know how it turns out, please. And I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.